The hidden programming. Every decision you make is shaped by software you never consciously installed. It was written through childhood experiences, repeated habits, emotional reactions, and thousands of tiny moments your brain quietly stored as instructions. If you failed at something important once, your brain may have created a shortcut that whispers, "Avoid this next time." That shortcut feels like your personality, but it is actually programming. This is why two people can face the exact same opportunity and react completely differently. One sees possibility, while the other sees danger. The surprising part is that your brain was designed to update these programs. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the connections between brain cells constantly strengthen or weaken depending on what you repeatedly think and do. But here's the problem. Most people reinforce the same patterns every single day without realizing it. Every repeated thought is another line of code. Every repeated action is another software update. If nothing changes, neither does the program running your life. The prediction machine. Your brain is obsessed with one thing above almost everything else. It wants to predict what happens next. Prediction saves energy because thinking deeply is expensive. Instead of analyzing every situation from scratch, your brain guesses based on past experience. That works well when avoiding danger, but it becomes a trap when chasing success. Imagine failing a public presentation once. Months later, your heart races before another presentation even begins because your brain predicts another disaster. The event has not happened yet, but your nervous system reacts as if it already has. This is where it gets worse. Every time you avoid the challenge, your brain records that avoidance as proof it made the correct prediction. The fear becomes stronger, not weaker. Success starts with breaking this prediction loop. Every small action that contradicts an old belief forces your brain to collect new evidence. Enough new evidence eventually rewrites the prediction itself. The identity loop. Most people try to change behavior while protecting an outdated identity. They say they want success, yet quietly believe they are lazy, unlucky, or simply not the type of person who succeeds. Your brain loves consistency. When actions conflict with identity, identity usually wins. Think about someone who says, "I'm terrible with money." Even after learning financial skills, they may continue making poor decisions because each mistake feels familiar. Familiar feels safe, even when it creates problems. The real danger is that identity often hides inside casual words. Every time you repeat a negative label, your brain strengthens the network connected to it. Instead of chasing different outcomes, successful people often start by changing the story they tell themselves. They stop saying, "I want to become disciplined," and begin acting like someone who already values discipline. Small, consistent actions become evidence. Evidence becomes belief. Belief becomes identity. Eventually, the new identity begins producing the behaviors that once felt impossible. The dopamine trap. Many people believe motivation comes first and action follows. Your brain often works the opposite way. Modern life floods your reward system with instant stimulation. Endless scrolling, constant notifications, and quick entertainment deliver tiny bursts of dopamine without requiring meaningful effort. Over time, difficult work feels less rewarding because your brain has learned to expect instant gratification. But here's the twist. Dopamine is not simply the pleasure chemical. It is deeply connected to anticipation and pursuit. Your brain releases it when moving toward a meaningful goal, especially when progress is visible. This means tiny wins matter far more than giant dreams. Completing one page, one workout, one conversation, or one difficult task creates momentum. Momentum tells your brain that effort leads somewhere valuable. Gradually, the reward system shifts away from distractions and starts craving real achievement instead of constant stimulation. The comfort zone illusion. Your brain treats uncertainty like a potential threat because survival once depended on avoiding unnecessary risks. That ancient wiring still exists, even though most modern challenges are psychological instead of physical. Starting a business, asking for a promotion, speaking in public, or learning a difficult skill can activate stress responses that originally evolved for escaping predators. The feeling is real, but the danger usually is not. This is why growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels exciting. Every time you stay inside familiar routines, your brain concludes those routines are safest. But every controlled exposure to uncertainty expands what your brain considers normal. The first difficult conversation feels terrifying. The 10th feels manageable. The 100th feels routine. Success is rarely about eliminating fear. It is about teaching your nervous system that discomfort is temporary and survivable. That lesson permanently expands your mental limits. The attention battlefield. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources your brain possesses, because whatever repeatedly captures it literally reshapes neural connections. Every notification, headline, and algorithm competes for limited mental space. If your attention constantly jumps between distractions, your brain becomes better at distraction. Concentration weakens because the circuits responsible for deep focus receive less practice. Imagine trying to build powerful muscles while changing exercises every 10 seconds. Progress would almost disappear. Your brain works in a remarkably similar way. This is where successful people quietly gain an advantage. They protect their attention like a scarce asset. They remove unnecessary decisions, reduce digital interruptions, and create environments where focus becomes easier than distraction. Every uninterrupted period of deep work strengthens the networks responsible for concentration. Over months and years, this creates a brain that naturally finds sustained effort easier, while others struggle to remain focused for even a few minutes. The future self connection. One of the strangest discoveries in psychology is that many people unconsciously treat their future selves almost like strangers. Sacrificing tomorrow for comfort today suddenly feels reasonable because tomorrow does not feel emotionally real. That is why skipping one workout, delaying one project, or avoiding one difficult decision seems harmless. But your brain remembers patterns, not excuses. Every repeated choice teaches it what kind of person you are becoming. Imagine meeting the version of yourself 5 years from now. That future version is built from thousands of tiny choices that seem insignificant today. The powerful realization is that rewiring your brain rarely requires dramatic transformation overnight. It happens through repeated evidence collected one decision at a time. Every focused hour, every uncomfortable conversation, every disciplined habit, and every promise kept becomes another signal that updates your internal programming. Eventually, the brain stops resisting success because success has become the new normal. At that point, you are no longer forcing change. You are simply acting in alignment with the person your brain now believes you truly are.